talking about my generation. Well, I had the misfortune or fortune to be born what people now call a boomer. And I have learned that we have acquired a lot of bad reputation with the generations following us. So I just want to let my fellow boomers know what I've learned about why we are held in such contempt by so many of the generations that follow us. I'm going to link this video below to a very interesting article on the subject, one of dozens of such articles that I've read, but this one has nearly 200 comments that gives the perspective of a lot of people on why they have such contempt for this generation born from the late 40s through the early 60s, which is really a very long generation. It's like really two cohorts. But in case you don't know, in case you don't realize, I really recommend reading this article and doing some soul searching. If you're in my generation, do some soul searching. I think these critics have a lot of good points, and I think they're being they're not. Well, there's always the story, not all boomers are like that. So of course it doesn't apply to the good boomers like you and I. It applies to the bad boomers. So take a look at it, think about it, know that I'm someone you can talk to about it. I don't think it's the most important thing in the world, but I think it's an important thing for us to understand of how our buying into now I see it as we bought into a bunch of lies that were marketed to us. But the falling into evil and error and sin, you can blame the person who tempted you. Yes, they were part of it. But then there's the person who surrenders to the temptation. They were the other side. And the boomer critics say that we destroyed our civilization. We let it be ruined. We failed the generations that follow us, and we deserve to be held in contempt. And they make a good case for it. So take a look. If you can face the facts, and maybe do something to make up for it if you can. Were you a good parent if you were a boomer? Or were you selfish? And did you just not take care of your kids? Did you provide them with a good home? Have you helped them to get a start in life? Did you enable the destruction of our country? Did you concern yourself only with your own comfort in life and not prioritize the big picture, which is carrying forward your people through time and building a better world than the one you left behind? Than the one you inherited. I think we can really argue that a lot of us failed on that. I could tell you a long story about how the many ways in which I failed on that. I invite you to think about it. Maybe there's still time to make amends, to do some right things. I think those of you boomers who have a conscience and have some resources, if you knew about this, you could maybe save your soul.